The fattest wallets swing the heaviest bribes. Lining senators, jackets with reason to lie. The maestro stands of proletariat tones. Democrats hide their hidden thrones. Oligarchs swing their skeleton keys while the innocent starve in the land of the free. Whoa, 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 whoa. Puppets strung by bronze, country built on life. Fathers died for liberty, but full of Christ oligarchy. Puppets strung by bronze, countries built on lies. Our fathers died for liberty, but full of Christ oligarchy. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're not in control. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're not in control. Aliens turn the middle class on the pole. Lucky sends the strongest sons off the wall. Hollywood boys bleach onto our eyes. Subdue the masses with terrorist guys. It's all you want, you gotta pay to play. In this twisted game, voting then you break. Resources are prey, turn the whole world great. The common tragedy destroys the common today. Whoa, 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 whoa. Puppets strung by pride through countries built on life. Our fathers died for liberty, my brother cries oligarchy. Puppets strung by pride through countries built on life. Our fathers died for liberty, my brother cries oligarchy. And we pledge to fall promises year after year. But now we're angry and the Congress should fear. I'm not in control, but my goal is my fear. They fired their engines to platinum guns, but millions of arrows can blot out the sun. They fired their engines to platinum guns, millions of arrows can blot out the sun. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're not in control. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're not in control. Get back in line.
Turn on some music now. People still owe money. People still owe money. No. People still owe money. People still owe money.
It looks to me as though you learned to love your prison. I guess you'd say you made it your own. Who knew that freedom's such a difficult decision? I bet you finally feel like you're home. Home.
Right in the center where the haves meet. You were proud of incremental half speeds. You were getting down in the AOC dance line, hands tied, nodding to the backbeat. You'll Secret Service dive in front of any representative alive, being asked for the very bare minimum. And you'll turn into that same kind of hard right villain you detested should we mention they could ever muster maximum. Cause liberal denial's such a lofty ataraxia, where morals take a backseat, not up in the cab, but in hidden panels made by federal human traffickers. If you trust the autopilot, then you're just a sleeping passenger, passively accepting that it isn't us the bastards serve, making peace with all the evil walking on this rancid earth, seeking unity with those who bound your hands at birth, glancing up at fascists on a bloody dais thinking they just need a push. Not a holy man, but I'm praying for a burning bush. Yeah, I know you'd love to look away, but love, you need to look. There are many massacres the country manufactured that will never make the books. Now here's your fucking hook.
It looks to me as though you learned to love your prison. I guess you'd say you made it your own. Who knew that freedom's such a difficult decision? I bet you finally feel like you're home.
Home on the range of excuses. Justify some fracking, water down pollution, paint a fresh coat of bipartisan charm over backroom collusion. Your consent is being manufactured by illusions, marketing executives in federal seclusion, working day and night to keep you just the side of lucid, and to beat down for calling out abuses. So fuck all these progressives who can speak on revolution once they empty all your powder out and spit on all your fuses. I prefer to judge a leader not by quality of tweets, but the six-figure book deals she chooses. Donors he betrays, and donors that he'd gladly take a bullet before he refuses. Slogans he reuses, buzzwords he produces, then he spews like mucus. Well, two can play at that. So here's the inner dialogue of every time I snap, and it's fine-tuned to ruthless, and saying politics are useless. Just a bunch of loose lips tweeting cute shit, power suits, taxpayer booze trips. Bunker at the ready when the shoe flips, and there will be no news clips. There will just be
People still owe money. People still owe money. No.
It looks to me as though you learned to love your prison. I guess you'd say you made it your own. Who knew that freedom's such a difficult decision? I bet you finally feel like you're home. Home.
People still owe money. People still owe money.
immediate aftermath of 9/11. We did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right.
We've taken control of the oil in the Middle East, the oil that we're talking about.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create.
We choose truth over facts.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. The foothills of the Himalayas.
Television is what people are saying.
We are fighting Satan himself.
Journalists, ask them the question! Ask them! Ask them! Ask them!
Agreed that everybody, once they inside, they should. Anyway, my time's up. America's dead.
God damn, that intro is just gold. It's just solid gold. I'm sorry. Someone's got to say it. So good. Oh, Greg, I think you're muted. No, I'm still not hearing you. Still can't. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I guess we're good.
Yeah, there we are. We got him.
Yeah, I think.
Ooh! Yeah!
But this is my mic for now. My laptop mic. But welcome, Ian and friends and family. You're getting a double dip of Jesse this week.
It's true.
It's not too often it happens. We had to plan to do this on Monday, but some troubles, life things happen. We're all human beings here. We all have full-time lives outside of this, so it's hard to do. That's why it's important to like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you can to support this channel, because we are just a couple of lads doing these things and exposing the truth. So tonight, we're gonna have a little bit of surprise later on, but let's check out what's going on in Maui. In Hawaii. Now, I don't want to. At this point, like, ever since COVID, I've become more apt to the idea that, I've more so jumped on the. It becomes more and more relevant, especially after 9/11 too. You begin to realize that conspiracy theories start to become conspiracy facts after a certain amount of time. And so that's why, there's a lot of things that are happening here that are definitely questionable. Things that, if you're hearing from the inside, or at least from TikToks from people on the ground. Here, 1 second.
Yeah, we got all kinds of fam in the chat already.
Yeah, let me check this out. Here's a thread. Kimber Maddox really hones it in altogether, but this is the first one. So now we're the death total, I believe, is 111 at this point. There's people on the ground that are claiming thousands, hundreds, thousands. And
if you don't know what's going on in Maui, we're just being completely devastated right now. The last 4 days, I've been non-stop, just working around the clock, trying to get supplies for people, trying to get the supplies to the people, working at the shelters. It's just, I'm safe and my family is safe and my dogs are safe. Last night they said the death toll is 80. It's not correct. They're not reporting. I don't know why they're not reporting it correctly. There's at least 600, if not thousands, of people who are dead in the streets, floating in the ocean. There's over 3,000 homes that have been burned to the ground. There's no help here on the ground. All it is residents pulling together. My whole entire truck is full of supplies right now. Just residents going to the store, going to Walmart, going to Costco, buying as much as they can, driving it straight into Lahaina. I went there last night, and there was a fire that started, and we got so scared we weren't able to drop off all the supplies. But there was flames that we saw, and we were like, we just have to get out of here. It's so awful. The people who were able to evacuate Lahaina and get out, they're at the shelters, and the shelters are just a mess right now. They're so disorganized. We don't have anyone from any organizations helping. I think Red Cross is here, but it's just so unorganized. No one knows what we need. It's awful. And the people that are still in Lahaina that were not able to evacuate, they don't have gas in their cars, they can't leave. Some people are just holed up in their houses waiting for someone to come knock on their door and give them supplies. They don't even know supplies are like being distributed at the docks in Lahaina, and it's getting so bad in Lahaina. I never thought this was gonna happen, but there's people going into like other people's homes trying to steal their stuff, like I heard that the people are being held at like gunpoint over there. I'm doing everything that I possibly can. I've literally been working nonstop the past 4 days, but it's like, where are the trained officials? We're not trained to do this. Like this.
Yeah, so you can't help but really feel for the Maui people right now. Whatever.
Well, and I think it was. Oh, sorry.
What's going on, buddy?
I think it was later in her video that she mentions that, tourist groups are still arriving. People are still trying to come and get their money's worth out of trips that they had booked. And she said they're, still recovering bodies from the water, and there are like snorkeling tours coming in and stuff they're still trying to just force the commerce and the business to take place in this place that's just still a disaster zone.
Yeah, and I'll show that later. The realtors pretty much came right in and swooped in with their money.
The ground was still hot, and they were calling people about their land.
Yeah. So this, they're literally surviving in the water as they're watching their hometown getting burned down. If this is not like terrifying, so Biden is basically he's asking for his own Katrina. He wants his own Katrina, I guess. It's my dog was scratching. But absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. This is another one in this thread here.
But I need you guys to hear me out. You don't see what's going on. I feel something.
Just to be clear, the official truth from the governor, John Green. Come on. The official truth is climate change due to dry, wetlands becoming dry, growing weeds and stuff that easily catch on fire and like really flammable. Okay. Yeah, I believe that. I mean, there's definitely like a sense of I'm not denying the sense of climate change, but it just that's not even the conspiracy part of it. It's the fact, like how you mentioned before, how greedy like capitalists and colonialists are coming in with money, and that's not even like really. That's the whole conspiracy right there. Like you don't even need to connect everything else. Everything else is just a plus, isn't it?
Exactly. Well, even the governor said we're looking at ways to acquire this as state land, and like those are people's homes. That's these are people's property that you're talking about. That obviously realtors are super interested in, and the idea that they already have these plans for it. It just at the very worst, it's awfully clandestine. At the very least, it's just predatory vulturing that, it's not like that's not our bag. We are a nation of vultures, but
that's not even to mention the colonial history of Hawaii itself.
Oh, exactly.
That land is stolen as it is. It's already stolen. They're just kind of dealing with it with us, with them being an American colony for the past 50, 100 years, and they're just sort of dealing with it now. But now they're like literally. There's charges that this could be arson, and I'll show that too. There's there's actually an AP article right here where it says Lahaina residents worry about a rebuilt Maui town on the hands of affluent outsiders. So it's kind of like in the face of everyone. It doesn't really seem like it's like now.
Well, and part of it too, like they said, if they can chalk it up to climate change, if they say, well, this is something we think is going to continue to happen, then insurance companies are going to stop giving you insurance, just like they're doing, in California here with wildfires. That all of a sudden it will be either too expensive to rebuild your home, especially with your measly $700 check, if you qualify, or it's just not something they'll allow you to build on anymore. And they go, sorry, this is going to become state land. You can't, this is no longer residential. It's too dangerous. Wildfire risk, climate change, tough shit. Get out of here. Which again, we would totally do. That's right in our playbook. Yeah, it feels so premeditated. This is obviously land that everything else that they could buy up around it has been bought up, and these people have dug in their heels for a long time. And it's I don't know. I don't want to go full tinfoil.
I'm not willing
like
to
you
go
said, we have a
all out
long
and just,
history of continuing to force subjugation on people we've already colonized, and it totally seems like something we would do to either force or allow something like that to happen. Swoop in, get the land, and give them a measly, 1.9 million.
and whatever that is, and whether it's like direct energy beams or like colonialism through like capturing wetlands,
the outcome is the
like
same.
That,
yep.
It's like it's exactly like I said. The outcome is exactly the same.
Yep.
Here are some interesting facts that you should know. The governor, emergency management admin, fire chief, lieutenant governor, and attorney general were not on the island at all when the fire broke out. So two most critical emergency officials were AWOL. The emergency alert system, which Hawaii is supposed to have like the most robust alert, like alert system in like the country or something like that. Tulsi talks about this. The emergency alert system was not activated, and there's 400 sirens in the entire state. The only system they activated was cell phone alerts, which is basically like the what's those the Amber alerts that you get on your phone. That's basically all they got. With many residents reporting that they had zero warnings. Many officials told them they'd be safe. I read a story where there was about like they had like all the kids in this like high school go home, and like that's like where all the fire was, so they all died. Like 98 kids died because they told them to go home. It's like crazy. So,
and again, when I lived in the Florida Keys, after we left, a really major hurricane hit shortly after, and when it wipes out a place where a lot of people are living in trailers or homes that they've kind of added on to over the years, the Keys are a really expensive place to live anyway. And when you lose everything and can't afford to rebuild, you leave. And sure enough, this storm happened, and within weeks, people's rubble that was their home is being torn down and condos are going up in its place. People swept in, and a whole bunch of fucking condos came and went up, and new resorts and restaurants and shit like that. And now there's even fewer places to live, and now you're paying, if you find a trailer now, it's fucking $3,000 a month. It's $2,500 a month for no utilities. Like it's
worse than that. You're better off buying like a Barbie house,
right?
Like a dog shed.
Exactly. Suddenly those old play school backyard houses are looking pretty sweet. To think I let one of those go for $5 as a garage sale when I was a kid. Like, what was I thinking? That could have been my nest egg. I fucked up.
Yeah, the lack of assistance from the federal government is that really just tells it all about the face of the US government and how we're giving billions to Ukraine and simultaneously literally like a state of a country is burning.
Yep.
This isn't. Oh, here we go.
Arrive, and then nothing was sort of happening. We were just in shock.
But what was that tipping point for you when you realized government is not going to be able to respond the way locals can?
So when I started getting texts and messages from friends on the other side saying, hey, no one is here. Do you know anyone you can
This is why we need mutual aid networks now.
Yep.
call? Can you help us? And it started off with really being boots on the ground. Okay, let's get the jet skis. Let's get the boats. Let's call friends who fly commercial aircraft and see if we can charter a plane. We just took it upon ourselves like, okay, we could probably do a full day to hold our friends and family over before the, caravan arrives with everything. And it was just like day after day. Where are they? I haven't seen, one state, one county, one federal official at any one of the donation hubs where people are most suffering. People are sleeping in their cars. People are asking for specific items now.
What does it look like at these places that are hard to get to for the public and you've been able to get to, the distribution centers? What are they like?
It's pretty remarkable seeing communities come together. I mean, these distribution centers, some of them are very chaotic because they're bringing in supplies from the ocean. There's also some very well organized areas, and you can tell everyone's trying to accomplish the same thing.
So the federal government says they're here. FEMA says they're here. Small Business Administration, the National Guard. There's been a response from Maui County, from the governor. It's very hard for anyone sitting where I'm sitting as a journalist to evaluate the response because it's closed to the public in Lahaina.
As soon as you go to the west side, all of a sudden you're like, wow, why do I feel like I'm in a third world country right now? You could go to any one of those hubs on the west side of the island and you can ask everyone there. And they'll be like, oh, we haven't seen anyone. No one came to talk to us. No one's come to assist. I wonder if the state, county, they believe we're doing such a good job, they don't need to step in. But a lot of these volunteers have been going all day, all night for 5-6 days now and are exhausted and are waiting for a handoff or at least a break. The Hawaiian people, the locals that have lived here, they just always feel like they're the last to be thought of. And they're like the foundation of it.
We're going with the federal government's response.
Will you come talk about the Hawaii response, Mr. President?
Nothing there.
Can you imagine being a so like you're in multiple you're in multiple running scandals right now. The 55% of people are against funding the war. East Palestine. Well, it keeps on going on, and that's the no comment strategy is really perfect for 2024. I really feel like that sums up his campaign.
Yeah,
pretty well.
And it's such a softball. All you gotta do is say it's absolutely devastating. Me and Jill's hearts go out to blah 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 blah. That's such a fucking softball pitch, and you can't even be bothered. That's, to me, that's not accidental. That's just this old bigot getting a chance to just be like, oh, what, Hawaiians, and then go inside. That's how I interpret his actions anyway.
So then, I feel like at this point, it's just only fair to start asking questions like this one.
Well, a video was going around today that some people had taken who were at one of the aid stations, and there's this long line of people in this field, and a police cruiser pulls up, and the guy gets on his megaphone, and he tells people we're shutting it down, and people are like, what the fuck? There's just this roar of, chaos. And he's just like, powers that be, got the orders, we're shutting the station down. And again, that's just one more glaring thing stacking up of this isn't just neglect. This is willful ignorance and or hampering of relief efforts for these people.
No, it is weaponized negligence for sure.
There you go. That's
and let me find this tweet because that is a very powerful one. Let's play a little bit of this.
I have been trapped in Lahaina for the last 4 days. And I experienced firsthand what was going on there. What I went through is not important. I need to get this message out. This was not a natural disaster. This was a direct energy attack on the people and the place of Maui.
I didn't say that. She said that. I'm not saying.
What? I didn't hear it.
Direct energy weapons. She said that, not me.
Yeah, that's.
If you know
she lives there,
what lives there, what descendants live there, you know why. And you know why it happened on 8/8. And if this is not something that you believe, it's time to stop being a sheep. They came in and they took control. There were trees standing and the buildings gone. This system, this weather system, came in from the mountains, from the east. That does not happen. They were not telling people anything. They were not letting people in to help. And they were letting people go in to get burned alive. There were people burning alive in the streets. There were people dead in the water. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people that died. What they're telling you in the news is not true, and I lived it firsthand. I sat with the people. This is not to bring fear, this is to educate, because there is darkness that is being hidden. And soon people are going to see. I know now why Gaia sent me there. And I'm going to use this platform. There was no warning. There was no nothing. Please boost this post. I want everybody to see this. I don't give a fuck about me. I want everybody to see this. What they're telling you in the news is not what happened.
So just for context, it looks like there was this got community noted. It says the officer was announced his suspension of a plate card system that would have allowed limited access to the disaster. Unqualified individuals were trying to do. All I know is the order has come down to shut down the distribution of these placards. All right. I've just been informed that we are shutting down this placard distribution. As of now. Please. There are powers that be. I'm not sure of the reasoning. All I know is the order has come down to shut down the distribution of these placards. All right. Yeah, so not exactly the most settlement shit. This is my question. So I happen to get some of the damage. And again, I'm not trying to I'm just asking questions. Okay, I'm not conspiracy theorizing or anything. I just want to know. I genuinely want to know. Why are all those cars okay? It looks like because you can't get out of that. You can't drive out of it. They didn't drive into there. So what happened? The fire just jumped over to those cars. You can see it's all like cars burned to a crisp, and then there's like
of them, yeah.
this row of cars that are just fine. That was. I just want to know. I'm just asking for a friend.
If you bust out Occam's razor during any of these potential conspiracy moments, it leans heavily in favor If you ask yourself, like, would these people have something to gain? Have we done this kind of shit before? If the answer to both of those questions is yes, then there's very, very few things I wouldn't put past our government. You know, wealthy people that want land, fucking whatever. It's very hard to present me a scenario that I can say I absolutely don't believe that's possible. Like and I would argue that that's me being way too much of a realist as opposed to being gullible.
This is just about asking questions. We just want to know what's the bottom of this. This is from 8 years ago.
Why can't we pull energy out of thin air?
No matter where you go around the world, reducing our impact on the environment and decreasing our dependence on fossil fuels is on everyone's mind. But how do you do it in a way that's going to benefit the most people? That was the question Hitachi asked before initiating the Jump Smart Maui project. This initiative demonstrates how electric vehicles, smart grids, and renewable energy like wind and sun can benefit Maui's residents, and it underlines the positive impact that Hitachi is making on the environment.
It's our future.
That's our future, baby. Mm-hmm. I happened to catch this last night or 2 nights ago. But this was this is John Pelletier. If you don't know the Las Vegas shooting, that's some sketchy cover. That's some sketchy shit happened there. You could just go on YouTube and have a blast. Go into that rabbit hole if you want. This is him. And
do it. Go down it.
He's ride the snake. They're already admitting to arresting witnesses who come close to the scene. So, like, if you're looking for like your grandmother or your son or something like that, they're gonna arrest you if you come anywhere close to the scene because they need to do. I don't know exactly what, but they said they're gonna do it right. Listen to them.
That's the reverence. That's why we can't have you walking down there.
Reverence.
And we had to arrest somebody for trespassing. And so if we want to keep doing this and slowing it down, keep doing that.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Do a Freedom of Information Act and figure out who that person is. Tell that story. Knock it.
So he just said do a FOIA request on that guy, dox him, figure out all his information, and he just told the press to do that. He gave the instructions to the press on what to figure out this guy who just got arrested by it.
We're going to do this right. We need you so much. If you're a family of somebody missing out of state, we need you to contact the family.
It's just shocking the kind of shit that you're seeing on the ground from like TikTok. Like this is like one of the good things about TikTok is having stuff like this.
Congregated,
right?
Gathered supplies, used their own vessels to transport the goods from point A to point B. The government took it away. Realtors are contacting people whose homes just got burned down. Tourists are swimming in the beaches that our family and our fucking friends had to fucking escape to, and you're just gonna fucking dive in there like a tragedy didn't just fucking happen. All of you make me fucking sick.
Absolutely.
You make me sick and you make me regret being alive on this fucking planet.
I don't know about you.
As soon as the locals congregated, gathered.
I am personally able to believe that our government is evil enough to purposely destroy Maui for profitable purposes. I don't think that's really that far of a stretch. I mean,
no way.
How many more 9/11 papers do we need?
Right.
I'll share this one last video here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to come on here and say, do not believe what is being told on the news.
86 casualties is not true. The actual count is estimated somewhere between 500 and 1,000 people. People were not informed except for 5 minutes before they had to evacuate, and this was via a cell phone message, an emergency alert. Our town has evacuation sirens for tsunami installed that are working, actively working, and they were not sounded. Children home from school while their parents worked. Our kapuna who only have access to landlines. These are the people that they're pulling out of houses right now. That they're pulling out of rubble.
Yes, you don't really need to get too deep into the woods here to understand that there's something.
Maybe it's different for you because you just got here, huh? So it's not the same.
Here's the police finger fucking.
No comment?
Or,
No comment right now, guys. No comment? I'm talking to the chief, sir. Yeah. Why doesn't he want to speak to the people? Only to a camera. He can do his thing in there. No, we called up.
I'm sorry, if you're willing to walk like that, ignore any sort of constituent. You have to be a heartless, like, really dark.
Well, I mean, he's a cop.
Yeah.
Why are you shaking your head? Why are you shaking your head, sir? You don't want to answer, huh? Okay.
We'll talk to you another time, guys.
Yeah. You won't talk to us another time.
Yeah, we'll talk to that. We'll talk to
Here's
them.
Howard, they move.
Shocking.
Well, you're not from.
Well, not shocking at all. Not really shocking at all. This is developing. I have more. I could go all night with those videos. They're endless on Twitter and TikTok.
Yep.
So this is an ongoing thing, but there's a lot of questions. There's still no real answers and still no federal help. It's Biden's he's asking for a Katrina. He wants his own Katrina. He wants his own public environmental disaster to
East Palestine wasn't enough, apparently.
Terrible. Yeah, his terrible fucking legacy. So yeah, the video's choppy. I don't know. It might be my RAM. I'm gonna close a couple things in this next segment, but there was so how do we start this? This is the fun part. So this is past week, and we had viral superstar Oliver Anthony, famous. I believe he's top 100 Billboard charts right now. Number 1 on iTunes in a day, just like that. Cool. And we'll listen to some of the song. I mean, it's oh boy, it's supposed to be. I mean, this got 15 on Twitter. So I mean, like this is more than just like a popular song. Like this is like a Black Friday kind of moment of like, this is like almost like meme level of like song. So this song basically turned into a meme of itself, and that's not like anyone else's fault besides the people who promoted it. So yeah, well, let's listen to a little bit of Oliver Anthony, Men North of Richmond, the lyrics.
So, working hard.
We'll get that first strum in.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
And like, so like immediately, like, I'm not here to shit on this guy. I think there's I think there's a person definitely behind there.
Yeah.
Sure. And I'm gonna we'll get to that, but just as a musician, like both from us, like coming into musicians, like when you think of like a folk country song, isn't the first line, like if I asked you to write like a folk like political country song, wouldn't the first line you think of like I've been working all day, like wouldn't that be the first thing that comes to your head? so like this is what I'm talking about, is like this song, like for the level of fame that it got, like it's really just a fine little folky tune with very vague politics. It's basically as deep as a populist breakdown, like break room small talk. Like this is like lunchroom populist small talk. And so again, this guy, he is probably struggling right now. We'll get to
I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is.
I think there's a reason why people resonated.
Sure. Yeah. So far we're doing great. So far it's nice and relatable. Working class, getting taken advantage of, getting stooped by the boss. These are timeless.
This is like
country western.
This is like if you asked me to write like a political folk song, like I would write something like this. Like this would be like, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's not a bad song. It's not a bad song.
And here's where we arrive at a fork in the road.
Yeah, well, this is what really chapped everyone's ass. Right
here comes our
man.
Sorry, it's 4D. So
at this point, you're thinking, "Oh, this guy gets it, right?"
No, he's like this is our comrade. This is our guy.
Yep.
And then you get to 47 seconds.
What you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men don't.
So now you know this guy is like some kind of like libertarian, like Southern type. Yep. He said like taxes are bad, like this is like I understand, like I wouldn't pay taxes either in this economy, honestly. If I could get away with it, I wouldn't fucking pay taxes. What, for Zelensky's coke? I'm not going to pay taxes in America. If I was in a different country, I would pay taxes. But like the fundamental flaw of like this taxation theft, like libertarian ideology, it's whatever. Like that's what I'm saying. Like this is not a perfect being. Like we're working with someone here. Like this is. If we're talking about
nobody's perfect. Yeah.
No, that's right. If we're talking about class consciousness, we have to educate these people.
Now let's keep going.
The rich man. I wish politicians would look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare.
Whoa! And there it is. And this is the moment when the libertarian guy at the bar who you've been chatting with and it's kind of going okay, blurts out the N-word, and you're like, well, I guess we can't talk anymore.
This is like the moment of the song where like the N-word comes up and you can't say it out loud.
Exactly. Like
that's like this part of the song.
But if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds,
fat shaming too.
Taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds.
And what the fuck?
And here
rounds.
Okay. Okay.
No, lay it off. I mean, I want to know, because like fudge round sounds like something I would get at Costco, but
no, I love. And this pains me because I love fudge rounds. Do you understand me? I'm 270 pounds and I fucking love those. Now,
I'm pretty sure like a lot of people are asking how this person got.
It's
popular.
Not just as bad as like, oh, he's talking about welfare people. It's like let's wrap it up. Let's take that welfare trope and let's add on the fat. Let's add on, oh, you're eating your processed food. Like poor people can afford to eat fucking better than processed food. And if you're poor, you would fucking know better than to put that. Like, there's so many great things he gets kind of right, but it's none of it's precise. None of it's super aimed. If anything, the sharpest, most defined shot this dude takes in the whole song is that line about fat people on welfare. And the fact that you can get it to whatever extent, talk about taxes, and then you want to talk about welfare, and you're talking about welfare among working class people. Like, Utah Phillips said, we all assign blame in our own best interest. And that means that blame is relative. So if blame is relative, the important thing in society is who's controlling your blame. Who's pointing the blame? Who gets to direct it? And he says, why is it that large bodies of workers in my country assign blame downwards to some welfare chiselers at the bottom? And they go, oh, you're trying to get a little something for nothing. And they never look up at the big time chiselers getting a lot of something for doing nothing at all. And that's because our blame pattern is manipulated. And it's been just the same way that racism and sexism and homophobia get normalized in your language until you're realizing, like, oh yeah, we've all kind of been saying this thing that's kind of problematic, or this slang that we should be re-examining, or whatever. Poor shaming is baked into our fucking language and our music, and an awful lot of people that sort of get it still, no matter how based they might be, hit that valley where they go, and it's because of poor people, because we're hardwired to do that. And to me, whatever conversations get started by this song, whatever class consciousness gets stirred up by some people, it's fucking dangerous to me that a song that punches down that directly, the same way we've been taught to punch down, gets fucking 15 million views on YouTube in a week, and everyone's just jerking themselves over. It's
that's the problem with it, is that like we're pedestalizing something that's like already like somewhat problematic. Where I'm coming from is like what if I'm seeing this on the internet? Like, this is front page of news. If you Google this is all over every single news site. So if I'm seeing this live, like, happening, and I'm a single mom on welfare, and like I'm trying to relate to the song, meanwhile the entire country is able to relate, but I'm not able. Like, how am I supposed to capture that?
Yep.
You're losing me at that point.
Exactly. And you know what? People at the food bank, which are in record numbers right now, didn't write the policies that put everybody at the fucking food bank. But like this dude, he follows two people on Twitter. One of them's Elon Musk. Okay. You want to talk about welfare. You want to talk about fucking welfare. You want to find someone on the dole. Our fucking politicians are on the dole. Our billionaires are on the dole. And if you're not pointing that finger up and you're pointing it down, then fucking nah. To
be fair, he's following.
And to me, again, everything else is vague. It's one of those vague enough to be safe kind of songs. And when you do that, it's nice. It's nice and accessible for people. The problem is people can adapt your song to fit their message, no matter what their message is. You know, if you leave that wiggle room, they can interpret it however they want. And then, everyone can view your message to align with theirs. If he said Epstein Island, if he said Little St. James and not just miners on an island somewhere, we know what he's saying. But if he fucking said Epstein Island, that song would have gotten suspended and yanked off of YouTube and Twitter before he could get any amount of traction on it. That's, there's a watering down you have to do. And at a certain point, it's like, it's just fluff. And then you add some poor shaming and a little sprinkle of fat shaming on it, and it just you lose me completely. Like, the one thing we need is to realize that people are made to need assistance, And like, sure, there are some people that take advantage of the system, but again, it's a little drop in the pond. And maybe it's because it's easier to wrap your brain around the kind of money that people on welfare are receiving compared to billions of dollars. If you can't conceive of that kind of money, it's probably easier to focus on your neighbor that's making an amount you can relate to. But it's really willfully obtuse to not acknowledge, like, you want to talk welfare and you're not talking corporate welfare. I'm out.
Yeah, no, so I'm trying to find this video where he's like saying,
thanks for letting me go. I appreciate that. I needed that.
no, I mean, hold on.
Which I did. I have written 3 songs already. When I heard this, I'm like, first of all, I got to give a shout out to something Steve Poikinen said that I wish I would have screenshotted because I want it framed. He said, if Jett, he said, all this guy did is take the chords to Wagon Wheel and add a bunch of red pill buzzwords. If Jesse Jett had done that 2 years ago, he'd be on Joe Rogan by now. I fucking love you, dude. And you know, obviously as a musician, you watch someone blow up like that, you go, God, that would be nice. But
it's hard to, like, there is like a little bit of like,
that's when my death threats would show up. That's when a whole bunch of people, you know, granted, there's no misinterpreting my message. You're not gonna get through one of my songs and kind of think you know where I stand. But yeah, oof.
So let's present all absolutely fair sides here. Let's see where he's coming from. I'm not like, listen, I'm not like here.
Hang this thing up. I don't want to chatter too long to you, but Richmond, North of Richmond, it touches on my time in Western North Carolina, working in the factory. It talks about some people that live north of Richmond, Virginia, who I'm sure you're very well aware of, who make life a little more difficult than it should be. It touches base on human trafficking and the atrocities that, I'll say this. I sit pretty dead center down the aisle on politics, and always have.
It's not a good thing.
I remember as a kid the conservatives wanting war and me not understanding that, and I remember a lot of the controversies when the left took office, and it seems like both sides serve the same master, and that master is not someone of any good to the people of this country.
This is what I'm talking about. This is break room populist talk. This is like me in the lunchroom. Like, hey, we're ruled by overlords. Like, both sides suck. I feel like everyone understands that.
Every single trucker that comes through my job, I can say that same thing to, and they're like, "Hell yeah, brother!" They were right there with you.
So if you want to know the true scam behind how exactly this guy got viral, it's through this guy Jason Howerton. So, who's basically, he's like attached to the Daily Wire, right? And here's one LinkedIn post: launch a product, get over 1.3 million users in 2 days. Let that sink in. Oliver Anthony, who is not a professional musician, had his song uploaded on YouTube 2 days ago. X took it and ran with it. Now the song is to be on every streaming platform. He had reached out, but they had already agreed to donate money to record a full-length album. His life has changed every now and then. Make something so good that it changes everything. No, this isn't about politics. Sure isn't. This is about something that humans connect with, and how when it's so good, it can't be ignored, and God steps in, magic can happen. We can, sure. Oliver was 30 days sober when someone reached out and asked him. His song was Richmond, North of Richmond. Let me find the... Basically, this entire thing was based around a Daily Wire marketing scheme. Jason Howard seems to be a key player involved in this astroturfing campaign. He's the CEO of Reach Digital, which helps media companies and political influencers grow their social media footprint exponentially. And he's the first account on LinkedIn heavily promoting this song that provides background on Anthony. And Jason indicates that he's been contracted to record the song. He admits that he covered the cost to produce a record. And just to be clear, this guy owns 300 acres of land. He's not like, this is not 90 acres of land. My bad.
90 acres, it's worth 300,000. Yeah.
In Goochland, Virginia. You can see that on his shirt.
Stop!
No, that's what I was saying. They should call it Goochland land or something.
Oh, it's Goochland.
Yeah.
I knew there was one in Key West. I didn't know there was one in Virginia, too.
Yeah, you can see it on his shirt.
Sorry.
So he is he admits to himself that he owns 90 acres of land. And this is like just an estimate. This is not his land, but in where he lives in Virginia, 90 acres of land is worth $350,000.
So not bad.
So like a small farm. I mean, that's, working class. It seems like working class to me. But back to the LinkedIn scam. This is like basically where the astroturfing campaign really began. I mean, Matt Walsh on August 11th said the main reason this song resonates with so many people is because it's so raw and authentic. I mean, it's like, this is the problem, is like people are asking, like, this is the first time this was ever done before, yet this is blown up, and it just happens to be like a full-on right-wing scam or like a marketing scheme on.
Indy says to tell them who Jason Howerton is.
He's the CEO of Reach Digital. You can see his
where should he plug in and join?
His contact right here. One moment.
Oh, now they want the gooch.
Dan Bogdino from Fox News replied. He said, Jason works with me. Jason is a great guy. He texted me last week, blown away with the emotion of Oliver's song. He flew from CA to NC to help Oliver to get the message out. Yes, that's what he does. He uses digital platforms to spread the word, mine included. This fucking moron doesn't have a clue what happened. This fucker below. Fuck this guy. Blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, you have to tell me if this is a 100% natural growth. I mean, if you have like all the,
I mean, so to be fair, so few things now are really, if you want traction, like really good traction as a musician, you've got to put money into it and market it, because there's just so much music now that it's really like, how much are you willing to package yourself and grow your brand and increase your social media presence? And really the quickest way to fast track is to have someone willing to plump some money down, and you go to some dude like Jason Howerton, and he's like, I'll get you 1.3 million users in a week guaranteed, and then here you are. And I think it just coincides with the politics being vague enough, safe enough, and poor people punched downy enough to work for all these conservative and libertarian candidates to like latch onto right away. Because it's everyone else is doing it, Goochland.
That's the gooch. I just want to make it clear that it's obviously not his. That mic's worth probably like $3,000 to U87. That's a Getcher. Those are like one of the more expensive ones. I'm pretty
sure. Want a Dobro so bad.
Yeah, it would be nice to have.
They're not cheap, period. But if you're left-handed, like, just don't even don't even think about it.
So yeah, this was
and also, you know, again,
deep reactions to have
he sounds how he sounds, and you know, it's not as blatant as like Greta Van Fleet / Led Zeppelin, but the Tyler Childers is just overwhelming.
And now we have more followers than Tyler.
Yeah, I'm sure. Which is criminal. It's fucking criminal.
The person that he stole his style from, essentially, and if you listen to Tyler Childers, it's basically the same exact thing. He has 100,000 more followers. He joined this month, and he has more followers than Tyler Childers in his entire career. Does he deserve? Like, honestly, so like, do you? What was it you sent me like that before, like Tyler Childers would like?
Oh yeah, it's what the kid says. Mom, can we get some Tyler Childers? And she says we have Tyler Childers at home, and then it's all over again.
Yeah. So you wanna bust out these pieces?
Yeah, why not? So yeah, when you know I saw this, I'm like, it made me want to do that for people if that's what they're wanting right now, but not shit on poor people, and it's not that hard. And I tried to kind of water things down a little bit and make some just nice, you know,
do your best Tyler Childers
Americana tunes.
Yeah.
All right.
Get yourself set up here.
Hang on. I wish I could remember a Tyler Childers song off the top of my head. Driving through the road work, all the work they took forever on. The road cones blur like memories of the miles we stared between. All right. So, yeah, the other day I hopped on the forklift doing my thing, and I cranked out 3 songs for not a tribute album, not an inspired by, like, a Spite album, a Spite EP, inspired by Oliver Anthony. So this is song blatantly enough is called Welfare. Talk about welfare, I assume the corporate kind. All the billions loaned to criminals who pinch your every dime. Oh, my squeak keeps so flush, they got money to burn in the sky. Well, they see useful clowns out punching down on folks in a food bank line. Think you got a little propaganda on you when you soaked up all those songs, 'cause you're following the son of an amber miner on a place called X.com. And you watch him bathing PPP and can't see something's wrong, but gotta grind your gears when a check appears at the door of some single mom. So if you don't give a shit who is subsidized, if they make 7 figures a year, you might want to look into the deficit you got sitting between your ears. And if you don't know working from your ruling class and you can't tell up from down, you might want to keep a word like welfare out of your corporate spoon-fed mouth.
Damn. Fucking roast. See, it's not hard, folks. It's really not. Like I could just pick up a guitar.
Do it.
Like Trump, Joe Biden sucks, and Joe Biden. Nobody sucks.
I love. Hang on. Can we all just take a moment to appreciate? Crab hit the G, but instinctively he punk shifted down after that. He found the fucking power chord. I love that. That's where you went to for chord 2. Oh, that's beautiful.
Well, I mean,
all right.
How else are you gonna hit that minor? That's
right. Oh, that's fantastic.
You have to do some freaky shit in order to do that. I mean,
this
I respect Jesse a lot more as a musician than myself, but I've invested. He's invested more time. He's got more.
I started thinking about mines now and what happens to mining companies. Well, I mean, what happens to the industry in general. And if you want to fire up outsource.
Migrate, the minor one, right?
Yeah.
My granddad was a miner mighty long ago in Butte, who spent his whole life scraping by, who never left his boots. Then someone bought his bosses out and he'd outlived his use. They let him go, they trimmed the wage and they hired someone new. And he learned that that's what job creators do. Now walking through the heart of town, I see my daddy's shop that he shut down when the superstore got put in down the block. And he didn't have a lot of choice to work there all the same. For half of what he made when he had something to his name. He told me that's just the way it is, that's business through and through. And he told me that's what job creators do. Well, I watched a lot of poverty start blooming in this town, and I seen too many families out sleeping on the ground. When I offered help, I got harassed by Sheriff Brown as he gripped that kind of grin that says I'd love to put you down. But if I owned a mine and I enslaved them for a crew, then he'd call me a job creator too. They'll tell you how 1,000 miles are hungry for your bread, and they'll say that to succeed you need to step on people's heads. Those suckers might be starving, but it's better them than you. They'll tell you that's what job creators do.
Like a little.
That's called outsource.
Lyric video action. A tip from the lovely Colin Radix-Cotter, who is a member of the network. You check him out. He had a stream yesterday with Reed. Jesse does do it better. I think Jesse does do it better. And really, this is just goes to show we don't have to idolize, one song.
Mm-hmm.
What I actually really like Kate Johnstone's take on this.
Yes, dude, she really did. She nailed it. If you're looking for the right nuanced take on the goods and bads of this, it's like we're at that point. We are in need enough of anyone to speak up and kind of lead the way. We'll take what we can get, and that's unfortunate when it's someone who wants to use some Reagan talking point bullshit.
Right. That's the whole point I wanted to bring up is like but like the reason why this happened is because we've allowed an empty, vacant space on the left for any sort of like cultural, movement or like any sort of. Because honestly, we're more divided today than I think we've ever been in the country. And most people, honestly, I mean, they're just simply perhaps not artistic. But this was her thread on this. She might perhaps write a article on this, but I really liked what you said here. So far, the closest thing to serious answer I've seen is Phil Oakes, what do you go through? Which is not a legitimate answer. Pointing at folk singers from generations ago is not the same thing as modern viral piece of art, which taps into the rage of today's working class. The success of Men North of Richmond shows that the right will successfully harness the discontent of the working class and channel it toward their own interests that the left does not. And the left is not doing that. To claim that is to live in fantasy land. Let me pull
Very well said.
It's legitimate to pretend that the left is making a good show of creating of art and directing culture in healthy directions. And it's equally illegitimate to pretend a song that features shitty Reaganite talking points about welfare cleans is a left-pointing voice of the people.
That's fantastic.
Palin, again, once again, queen of nuance. It absolutely is a viral piece of art. Stop making excuses. The right will never have organic virality because it's the voice of oligarchs who understand narrative control, and they'll understand they'll always have the astroturf advantage. And because it doesn't contain an answer to the problem, the left isn't doing what he did. The fact of the matter is that there are millions of people who love the song, even on the left, and the left can do this, but the artists are not there. They're not there. Another $5 from Jeff Thomas Black. Thank you so much. God bless. Another network.
For every super chat we receive, I'm going to remove an article of clothing. That's how we'll start doing it.
So I was already aware of these songs in preparation, but I didn't know how country you were going to go. But I really nailed it. I didn't know, like, I can't do that. So like that's something else. You really went, you really steered into a whole different genre, and I wasn't expecting it. Like I genuinely wasn't expecting that from you. So,
nice.
But no, it's the
you got surprises, man. I'm full of.
Listen, the more variable you are, the better you are as a musician. I mean, typically, but
you want a little soft shoe? I can do. No, nobody needs to see that.
We already got 2 tips tonight. We might have to start. I had to start taking off some clothes.
I was about to say I should have. At this point, we've broken $7. I'll go ahead and take this off, and we're $3 away from the shirt popping off, folks. So watch.
It's getting a little hot in here. Damn. I mean, that was pretty much. You only had the 2 songs, right?
Yeah, I have a set of lyrics for a third, but I didn't do it. I do have a new spoken word piece. I'm really excited to bust out soon, but we don't have to do that here.
Okay. All right. You got American Tradition next week?
Yeah, we'll probably be doing some covers again. I really love doing the everyone just hang out and chat and take requests and do covers. Maybe we'll.
You should flesh out that third song. You should have a country.
I want to do 5 for the EP, but I'll totally slap them as soon as I get a couple more little ditties written. Next time I have a good day on the forklift, I'll have to wrap that EP up and package it up. So.
Yeah, that was all I had for tonight, folks. It was just those 2 segments. You got to hear a little bit of new Jesse Jess tonight.
Right.
We only ran for about an hour and 15, but that's okay.
We got
stories that were on our last minute, but make sure to check out the Gooch. Make sure to catch out Crocus, Crocus the Focus, and make sure to check out INN. Make sure to subscribe and like and comment. Do what you have to do to support the channel because we are very obviously suppressed. We have Tara Reid tomorrow, and Indy. I'm not putting that
shit.
out there. And you just sent me something in Discord.
Shit, we just cleared $10.
Oh shit! But then, damn, everyone's so generous. Like the shirt pocket.
Okay. We have a couple minutes. Do you want new spoken word piece?
All right, press 1 in chat if you want to do
If chat wants to go do other things, if chat's ready to have a snack and go to bed.
It's 10:30. You know, the kids are asleep.
If chat wants a spoken word piece about
kids are in bed.
About a Nazi artifact that keeps our politicians alive.
Yeah. So press 1 in chat if you want to hear a new spoken word.
All right. So this is exciting. I'm really excited about this one. Some of you might recall the subtitle for the song Convention as Jesse, Jett, and the Cursed Medallion. And I have a line in there that says, I'm here to tell you the spirit of Biden exists in a cursed medallion that rose out of hell like smoke in the form of 1,000 stallions. I originally was going to have another piece on the record that expanded on that idea and was all about this artifact that we had, this amulet the government was in possession of that had this horrible dark power, and we broke it off into pieces, and those have been put into different political figures to extend their lives. One was in Kissinger, one was in Cheney's pacemaker, one was in Joe Biden, and I just never, the more I wrote other stuff for inauguration gift, I was like, I'll do that another time. I'll come back to that. And here we are. It's been 3 years now, and almost 3 years since inauguration gift. And I was like, you know what? I'd love to revisit that idea. So I did. So here it is. This is Jesse Jett and the Return of the Cursed Medallion.
Okay. I don't have any lyrics, but.
Oh, well, hang on. We can fix that. Watch how fast we can fix that.
Send me some.
Oh, I wish I had the intermission queued up.
See, like, I can. Nobody
Oh, there you go.
No president gives a fuck about you. Like, it's not hard. It's not that hard.
See? Again, anyone can do
Where are you
it.
sending it through Twitter? I'm never calling it X. I'm never.
I never will. And you know what? I feel like in the same way that people still say Dunkin' Donuts. No one says Dunkin'. No one. Half people don't even realize that they rebranded. I know they did. They rebranded, but so many people still call it Dunkin' Donuts.
You might have to start taking more clothes off. This Comrade Kitty just gave another $5. A very generous chat tonight. I'm sorry, it's not.
All right, let's do this. Let's get this.
All right, let's get this show on the road. Come on.
Oh shit. Actually, can I just send you? I think I could just send you. I don't know if this would work too. If I could just send you the file.
Either text it to me or
through text.
Yeah.
Look at you. This is our tech whiz, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Here we go.
Well, Indy, it's different if it's like your pet name for Dunkin' Donuts. If you called it Dunkin', because that's just you guys were close, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of like friends.
You were an early adopter.
Like,
that's very different.
Yeah, it's like you wouldn't call your friends with benefits like bait, you know, like you. That's like an intimate term. There's things you have to, you know, watch your weight around.
Right.
Okay, I have it pulled up. So.
You're like, hey, you know. All right, here we go. Jesse Jett and the Return of the Cursed Medallion. Carved upon a marble altar, somewhere in a lab, are runes that match an amulet upon an onyx slab. Doctor in a white coat, garbed in olive drab. Kissinger unconscious, but as Providence would have, when the doctor stands beside him and he holds out the medallion, unconsciously, instinctively, he reaches up and grabs. Deep inside a black site that is right beneath our streets, the sacrifice was made by which they demonized our speech. The roots that fed the tree of life decayed beneath our feet, and its sap was a suspension for a small medallion piece. As the doctor starts to sway a bit, he takes the vial and places it inside of Cheney's heart that it might never cease to beat.
And I wish it wasn't so, but no, the final piece to mention is the one that fueled our overlord's unholiest ascension, that affords him zero comment on the char and the distension on the bodies in Lahaina, or the growing sickly stench of every BlackRock vulture gathered for what Biden paid as rent on the medallion shard they gave him on the eve of the convention. He had seen its strength extend the life of all his favorite vermin, and the peace that he inherited had come from Father Thurmond, another artifact he had been gifted by the Germans to see one's will made manifest, one's destiny determined. A note attached read all our best, Werner, Fritz, and Herman. May you marinate in Wehrmacht that ferments behind the curtains. Now here we are today, and Biden keeps it on his person, if Biden's what you'd even call a person. The curse is something ancient. It is raw abortifacient that they shovel down the throats of those who built and birthed a nation. It is fused into those corpses funding war on all occasions, and it's all that's keeping Feinstein from a state of vegetation. It is carried by the Senate doctors, whispered by the nurses. It's a perk to keep you perky for your centuries of service. It's the concentrated evil that's been powering our purges, coaxing every coup along, the dogs and drones and dirges, the nations we have raped because they would not consent to purchase. It pries our leaders' eyes awake and drives our country's urges to the darkest point where human hope and human truth converges. So look in Biden's eyes and see the rush on which he surges is the same that lit the flame that burned your churches. And those flames have had their day to see the vessels burned away, but the medallion, unscathed, always emerges. For as election season licks its lips and smells its purpose, there at once appears a motorcade of hearses. The calling of the pit like a liturgical insurgent, skinning off a sermon from the verses. He clutches a medallion of which he is just a servant, falling down a path with no divergence. Some people wonder loudly just how low a man can go. Well, somewhere in a lab they've logged effects of pure immersion. How long can someone lay upon that ancient onyx slab before rising up a wholly different person? How blackened can one be within the ink of human greed before their voters start to see a different version? How corrupted from within before you see it in their skin? How blighted till it rises to the surface? Until it bleeds into your eye, or you stand from time to time, staring off into the press like they were comets in the skies? How long until your arteries start clogging up with flies? How long till child labor phantoms haunt you in the night? How long has the medallion been deciding who survives? And how long till it demands a higher price? That's a wrap.
That's a mic drop right there. If I've ever heard one.
All right, that's all I got. That's me.
Lost. You have to go find the Declaration of Independence. Type. I'm gonna Photoshop you on the Nicolas Cage now. If you do that, if you end up doing, if you make like a theme, I'll make an album cover for you.
So I quote, there's a great compilation video called Nicolas Cage Loses His Shit. And it's just every great moment of Nick Cage just going ham in all these movies. I quote any bit of that is appropriate for my son to hear all the time. In just day-to-day life, I find myself quoting these Nick Cage moments. The other day, I was making some grilled cheese and I burned it. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but I burned this one. And he starts going, how to get burned? How to get burned? How to get burned? How to get burned? He hit me with some Wicker Man. My wife is like, what is he doing? What's wrong? Babe, it's Nick Cage.
Oh. No, when they're that age, they're like sponges. They just regurgitate anything.
Oh God, it's fantastic. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what we got for tonight, folks. An hour 30. That's a good run time. That's much better. I'm glad that we got that.
There we go.
One posted out for tonight.
Hi, Castro.
Mr. Jesse, you can go follow him at Jesse-Jett on Twitter.
Underscore. It's an underscore.
I'm a Big Mad Crab on Twitter. You can follow the network at Get Indie News. Subscribe, like, comment, do what you gotta do to share. And thanks for all the support tonight, guys. Really appreciate it.
Seriously.
Hopefully we can come at this with glad we were able to come at this with a fair shake, a fair assessment. But I'm glad everything's doing better. But have a good Thursday, guys. Make sure to check out Terror tomorrow as well as Bitch on Saturday. How did we miss that on Sunday? Hope you guys have a good rest of the week.